welcome back to Jim Builds, and today I want to have a look at the clutch and a few fitment bits between the full engine that came out of the Cortina and the Mazda gearbox that's about to go in, because up until this point all I've used is a bare 1500 block that I'm hoping to do some rebuild and another thing with that in the future. What I need to check is how well a whole engine fits against with it, how well the clutch works, if it does work, and the starter motor and a few bits like that. So that's what I'm going to do. The gearbox is already out, but I'll show you the problem I have at the minute. Due to the tight nature of the garage, this is my entire working area, and as you can see it's an absolute mess. What I need to do is clear it up a bit. I need to, let me see, I need to raise the engine and get it level, because at the minute there's no way I'm going to get the gearbox and the adapter plate and all the other stuff on there, and then basically start building it up and have a look. So I think what I'll do is I'm just going to throw some stuff outside, and then we'll have a look at how we're going to lift and level this engine, because what I want to do is actually have the engine down there and running back towards us with the gearbox, because the clutch, as you can see there, the clutch arm is on this side, so it makes sense to have the side of the engine I'm not really touching hard up against the wall. But yeah, I have not been tidy at all, and it has come back to bite me in the arse. So let's get it all sorted. Right, I got to this point, adapter plate's on. I've had to cut some of the wood that I put in there because I realised the starter motor wouldn't go on. Bit of an arse, but never mind. Flywheel and clutch are ready to go on to the engine, and I've put a new release bearing, which came with the clutch, on here. So that's how much movement I've got. I have absolutely no idea whether I've got enough travel in that to engage that. That's what this is all about. So I think clutch, flywheel clutch, fit. Aligning that's going to be a pain because I don't have a tool for it. So we'll figure that one out as we go. And then gearbox on, and hopefully everything works. If not, I'm going to look like a complete tit. So let's give it a try. Right, after getting that aligned, which is a bit of a pain, I need to make a tool for that really. I've got it bolted up. I'm just going to put my foot down there to brace it, and using this spanner, because that is right on it there, there's no preload in it, which is probably not right. That is definitely pushing that clutch in. There's a bit of gap. There. But yeah, if I it's definitely engaging and disengaging the clutch. What I need to try and do is get the engine turning and do that to see whether it works. So we've got the starter motor there, I can throw that on. So far I think we're okay. I'm not getting too committal, because when I do that normally things go wrong, but starter motor on, see if we can get this thing turning, just to see whether we can get anything coming out the back. I've got the prop shaft there, which we can precariously do something with. We'll have a look. Right, so I've got the engine and gearbox together. Feeling pretty confident right now. Now I know that the clutch works to a point. obviously not tested it, but something I do want to do is just see that I'm getting drive from the engine to the drive shaft. Now I've rigged this up. I think what I'll do is put the camera on here and put it into gear and just see whether I get all 5 and reverse, and just that'll be a good sign that I am getting, that the clutch isn't pressing down. I don't think it is. I mean, there was no resistance when I was tightening it up when the engine to the gearbox there, so I think we're all right. So have a look. Right, after turning the engine round, which was really cool to see all the gears actually engaging, come back to this and there is no preload in this now, but it's obviously not engaging the clutch, but something's not right. So I could have just left it there, and I was pretty tempted to walk away and come back at this another time, but I'm just not like that. I really don't feel like I want to leave it on a bit of a downer. So I've had a bit of a think overnight, and I've been out and bought some washers. These are 2.5 millimeters thick, because my thoughts are I could have modified the clutch actuator, so like the fork or the pivot, and I really didn't want to do that because I don't want to go down the route of being very modified, and if I need to replace it, it's going to make it difficult. I mean, I know the shifter, I have modified that, and I've modified the casing, but quite honestly, they're not too bad. Casing, yeah, that's written this gearbox off. It's never going back in an MX5. But the shifter was an easy thing. I made it up out of the original, so I'm not too stressed on that. Which gave me the other idea of basically pushing the gearbox further away from the engine. So yeah, I will need another a thicker plate, so I need to make a new plate if this works, but I'll show you what I mean. Right, did the simplest thing. I put just the one washer in, so this is 8.5 mil spacing essentially, so let's say 8 mil plate, and that is plenty. So I know when we're at rest that the clutch release bearing isn't going to be running, or certainly when it's not being engaged, it's not always going to be on there, because that'll end up burning out and I'll end up replacing those every 5 minutes. And I can still, here we go, try and actuate it. I need some Weetabix. Yeah, there we go. I can still activate the clutch, actuate, or whatever. It moves. So next up really is, let me think, I need to check the starter motor position on the cross member in there. So I think, quite honestly, this is going to have to go back in as is, which is not the worst thing in the world. And just check that before what I want to do is make sure everything that fits onto this plate is correct before I go ahead and cut a fresh one. So I'm really happy with how that's turned out. I know I've got to make a new plate, but before I do that, I want to get the gearbox back in with the starter motor on stump block, which is still in the Cortina. Reason for that is I've not really tried the starter motor in that position, so I need to see whether it's in the right position, because I don't think I can move it. That's the problem. Everything's resting on that now, so I'm hoping I've got no issues, but we'll have a look at that. But I just want to make sure I've dotted I's and crossed T's as far as I know before I cut a new plate. So yeah, that at the minute it's standing like, we'll do that plate in 8mm. I need to finish the welding underneath anyway, so I've got a bit of time to start, order the plate and start doing what I need to do. But yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. To say I didn't actually measure any of this before throwing it all together, it's gone quite well. And I'll take that, a new plate it's hardly the worst thing in the world. The gearbox mount might need to be remade, but that's only the plate that goes between the gearbox and the rubber bush. I'm not going to remake the cross brace piece because I don't need to. I can just easily either remake or modify that plate so it's got a bit of that extra 2mm in it. But anyway, I'll stop waffling and I will see you soon. So thank you for watching and take care.